It just keeps getting smoother every single time.
Season 3, we are hitting
I know, right?
all
We're veterans.
cylinders, baby.
Veterans.
Yes,
Welcome
veterans.
in to the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks again for hanging out with us. I'm Ron, that dude over there, Mr. Everything, John Yaglinski, who's hanging out. We're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of this later this month, John.
2 years, but season 3.
Yeah, I don't know. Why did I do that? I don't know.
It's because we're going by years, actual calendar years, and we reset in January.
Okay,
so
that's,
technically,
right, that's what I did.
But,
yeah. I knew there was a method to my madness. I figured it out. Okay.
Season 3.
Season 3.
That was an abbreviated first season.
Once again, thanks a lot for hanging out with it. If you're watching us live on our YouTube channel and also on our Facebook channel, hello, you can interact with us down in the comment section. If you're listening to the audio portion, well, you can go back to Facebook and see the podcasts, but only a limited number because they've started to delete them. So if you want to see the full thing, you want to go back 2 years, you want to listen to or watch the first one,
right? Then
go to YouTube. And all of our stuff is there for the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast.
Yes.
And I'm very excited because, well, finally, the greatest wife ever and I are well. There was we went to a Star Wars themed wedding over the weekend, and it was full bore. It was great. It was just great.
Oh, I thought you were going to say full bore sickness, but
no. It was full on. It was awesome. The decorations, the bride and the groom. Okay. They've been together for quite a while, but they're huge Star Wars fans, and they put together this whole thing. They just bought a new house, so it was at their house. They had a tent in the backyard and cutouts of Chewbacca and young Obi-Wan, and it was everywhere, and the food was Star Wars themed a lot. Now, I thought I liked spicy food. I mean, I'm pretty sure I do like spicy food, but I had some wasabi. It was a little bit of tuna tartare, right? A little bit of tuna. It was all diced up, right? And it was on, I forget what it was on, but there was a dollop of wasabi.
Dollop.
Like, okay, dollop. It was like that, like a little mini chocolate chip. Okay, had a little point on the end of it, and I popped it in my mouth, and I'm like, whoa, okay. Took my breath away. I thought I was going to cause a heart issue. It was that bad. It was bad. I could not breathe. It went up through your sinuses.
Yeah,
and it was and people were like, "Are you okay?" And my ears were red, and it was bad. And everybody else who partook in that had similar reactions. So, and I was really bummed that my friend George wasn't there because he likes spicy. He said, "Well, I like wasabi." I'm like, "I don't know about this, dude. This was some serious. This might have been actual real wasabi, right? Because they say wasabi here in the U.S. really isn't. It's kind of fake."
So, did you did it straight then?
No, it was on top. No, it was on top of the little bit of.
No, I get that, but so you didn't take it off and like put it in some soy and kind of like that's usually. I realize. For probably sushi connoisseurs, this is probably the wrong way to do things, but this is the way I do it, which is I'll take, the dollop of.
Oh, you make the slurry.
And I make like a little slurry with the soy sauce because I like the saltiness of that and the heat together.
Well, this wasn't technically, it wasn't arranged like sushi. So it wasn't sitting on top of rice and a band of seaweed around it.
Okay.
It was an hors d'oeuvre. Right. And there was soy sauce nearby. You could have shaken the bottle of soy sauce on it, but it was that little teardrop because it caused some teardrops of wasabi. No, John, I do the same thing. When I eat sushi, I do the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I pull and I read all about the actual etiquette for eating sushi. Because, I always did the chopsticks. And I'm so proud of myself with the chopsticks and all this stuff. And technically, you don't really need chopsticks. So, sushi is finger food.
Finger food? Yeah.
Finger food. Yeah. You're supposed to pick it up with your fingers and dip it and all that stuff, which I didn't know. Also, you don't dip the rice. You don't dip the rice in soy sauce. You're supposed to turn it over, dip the fish, and then
Okay.
In the
But
soy sauce.
when it's a roll, which is typically what I get, then
If it's a roll, I mean sashimi, that's just the fish, right? Am I getting that right?
I think
Sushi and sashimi.
so.
I don't know. I probably should have looked all of this up before I started talking about it.
someone smarter.
You know what? The
than
long and short of it is,
Yeah.
the wasabi was really, 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 really hot. But all the other food was just fantastic, and the day was wonderful. And everybody got a lightsaber, and the bride was dressed in is it Princess Amidala's gown, I believe.
Okay.
And the groom was definitely a dark Sith Lord. It was all black. Wow. And now I went and got a costume. I ordered a costume online because I thought I was just going to be, we talked about this last week. I was just going to be a nondescript kind of Mos Eisley,
right,
on Tatooine,
the back
whatever
guy. Yeah.
Now it was a Jedi costume, which I didn't, I thought I would just fade in the background, but there were probably 15 Jedi with the, with the brown and the, a dark brown with a hood and all that. Right, exactly. Right. These are the droids you're looking for. Somebody told me, though, that was very Ringo.
Yeah,
that was very Beatles. Don't do that.
Ringo.
These are the droids you're looking for, John Paul. Anyway, so if you don't know Star Wars, then you're lost.
No,
the food was great.
I'm pretty lost, honestly, when it comes to the Star Wars universe, and we start talking about this in the realms of the Disney nerds and such. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know anything. I know my Battlestar Galactica, but I never
really. That
was my jam when I was.
Well, I think I said this last week, and that is, and I'm one of those strange, but I saw it when I was 1977, the first Star Wars, when it was just called Star Wars. I used to make a joke like that on the air all the time. I remember when Star Wars was just called Star Wars. So, and everything after that is kind of, I don't know. It's just convoluted and made up. And what? Darth Vader is his father? Okay, spoiler alert, by the way. And however, there are a couple of spinoffs that I have enjoyed. Rogue One being one of them. Because
which got a little bit panned by the critics and stuff.
I don't know why.
I actually found it to be very good.
It's very good. Also, it's what they call canon because it leads into the 1977 first Star Wars movie.
Correct. Yeah, I liked it.
I liked that a lot. All the other stuff was gonna, in the Han Solo movie, even though Ron Howard directed it, again. But I did really enjoy The Mandalorian, that series. Jon Favreau put that on together. Anyway, the long and short of it is that it was a great event, and congratulations to John and John. You're John. James and Michelle.
James
and Michelle, who got married, and it was at their house, and then there was music and dancing. We played the shoe game. You ever played the shoe game? Jennifer Skana has given a comment. It says, "May the Schwartz be with you."
May the Schwartz be with you.
Spaceballs, which was yogurt, which was another great movie.
Yes, Melba.
But it was a splendid time was had by all, and a lot of people in costume, and our great friends George and Trish was painting her face all green, and she had the two horns and the helmet with goggles. I don't know, there's a character name for it, and George kept saying it over and over again like I'm supposed to know. I recognized her, but I didn't.
Wasn't that one of the
I didn't know what it was,
series or whatever?
What's that?
That was one of the shows or series that was on Disney Plus.
Ashoka, I think.
Ashoka, yeah.
Ashoka, is it Ashoka? Ahsoka.
Again, don't put it on me because
nothing. The Star Wars and nothing.
No,
when it got really, really complicated and difficult when they did the Clone Wars and they did these half-hour animated series, and apparently it's all canon and it's all filters into it.
Right. I can't. Nope.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
But there's and people are into it. They're really, really into that lore.
And I respect that, but
Absolutely.
yeah,
Well, it's the same with DC and with Marvel comics and with the
and
world of Harry Potter and
yeah, Harry Potter, and quite frankly, the because I
James.
went to Epic Universe, How to Train Your Dragon, that whole thing,
Okay,
and
yes, I wanted to get into that.
the
Yes,
Nintendo stuff
since you brought it
as
up, let's
well.
go. Let's go. Let's hear about it.
No, well, I'm not.
Give me some headlines, and then
The headline, I think, for the whole
please.
park, there are two headlines. One, best theme park ride anywhere right now.
Okay.
Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment, which is in the dark universe portion, Darkmoor of Epic Universe. Just more audio animatronics than you can count.
Now, what was the theme park? What is the overall? What is it?
Epic Universe. It's basically you come into.
Is it with Universal?
Yeah, it's at Universal.
It's at
Universal Orlando. This is Universal. This is one of their now 3 theme parks. They'll say 4 because they have a water park, but that's not really a theme park.
Okay,
that's a water
see,
park.
the Dark Universe was supposed to be a movie franchise.
Was it?
Did you know that?
No.
Yes, they were going to, not to cut you off, but I will.
No,
they were going to do a whole series of films, and they were going to do it with big A-list stars. And the first one was a remake of The Mummy, and it was the one starring Tom Cruise. And if you saw that, then that sets up the rest of the universe, because in it, Russell Crowe is Dr. Jekyll, but you just see him as Dr. Jekyll.
Okay.
And then they were going to have Johnny Depp was the Invisible Man.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of who the other was it Benicio del Toro? I forget who it was going to be. There was going to be a Wolfman.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to do this whole thing, the Dark Universe, and then they were going to have standalone movies, and then eventually they were going to team up like Avengers.
Maybe they'll still do that, because I will say the Dark Universe is all the Universal classic monsters.
Right.
So Frankenstein, there's a werewolf coaster. The Invisible Man was there in that area making appearances. Dracula is in the Frankenstein ride. They're basically trying to capture Dracula.
Well, since
let me just say, so
get back to the ride. Get back to the ride
quickly. For those who have done it, it is the same ride mechanism, which is at Hogwarts Castle in Universal. Okay, so essentially, there are these giant moving platforms that have, and the brand name is KUKA robotic arms with a box attached to it, which has your seat on it. If you can kind of picture that. I mean, just a articulating arm, and the arm has the ability to put you in front of things, move you around, up, down, put you on your back, all around, and it does throughout the whole ride.
Okay. Oh, so you are strapped in. You have to be strapped in.
Yeah, you're strapped in.
Okay, great.
It's shoulder harness.
Nice. Beautiful. All right.
Yep. So, all I can say is, whereas the Harry Potter ride, it had the tendency to maybe make some people motion sick, because they used some big screens where they'd put you in front of it, and then suddenly you'd be flying with Harry Potter or doing stuff.
Right.
Which was really cool.
Sign me up.
But it could get you motion sick. This one instead did have screens, but relied primarily on physical sets and tons of audio animatronics, which it just completely blew me away. So at this point, have to say probably the best theme park ride anywhere. Close is Disney's Rise of the Resistance ride, which is a ride within a ride within a ride, if you've ever been on it.
Never been. You'll have to
explain. Both of those are worth.
You can get more into that on John's podcast.
Yes.
Which is, where do we go?
It's intercot.com or the Intercot Insider Podcast. You can find that again on the Facebook, the YouTube. We actually broadcast out to Twitter because I paid Twitter/X money to be able to do that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
That's extra money. We're on the cheap here. It's okay, but yeah, you can find us video podcast, also audio. Much like this podcast, I'm a little behind on getting the audio versions up, but I'm going to get us all caught up by this weekend.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm being attacked. My brain knows when I'm not supposed to yawn and makes sure that I yawn every single time. So it's nothing on you, John. Trust me.
No, it's fine. Yep.
Now, I wanted to ask you very quickly though, is with it's 2025, you're talking about the animatronics. So there's no like jerky motion anymore.
These were
fluid and
wow,
there was a real thing.
In the pre-show, there was a Frankenstein, and oh my gosh, it was lifelike. It was real, and it moved forward, backwards, was fluid motion. It did not look as if it was a robot.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, it's really good, really good. And just quickly, other stuff, How to Train Your Dragon Land. Fantastic. If you have kids, they're going to love it. There's tons and tons of interactivity and audio animatronics throughout the land there. The Nintendo world. Oh my gosh. If you're a Nintendo fan,
oh no,
you are immersed. You go through a portal and then, let's see, it takes you up and then you go down into the land. It surrounds you. That's all you see. It's completely immersive and lots of great rides, including Donkey Kong and Mario Kart.
Can I ride Mario Kart and wreck into things and not die?
Yes, because it's augmented reality.
Oh, that's awesome!
Which you get a visor, and then your augmented reality screen snaps up into it, and it's about this far away from your face, and you see mixed with physical sets all these different things that you're shooting and doing with your cart and your steering. And it's really good. So anyway, if you get a chance, do it. Fun. Supposedly it really comes to life at night. Didn't get to see the Harry Potter thing because I will say the second thing of my review was their virtual queue sucks. And I tried to get, in order to get on the Harry Potter ride right now, you have to get into a virtual queue. And you can do that at 3 times during the day, 11, 3, and 6. And I struck out each time as a single person trying to get into the attraction. I thought for sure, because I was a single, that it would be much easier to do that.
Sure.
To get in.
Yeah.
Nope. So I didn't get to ride it. Didn't get to see the Harry Potter show. Pretty much didn't get to really experience the land like I really wanted to. So that was a disappointment. But everything else was pretty amazing, and they'll work it out. It's still in previews.
Okay.
For a few more weeks or something, another week or so, or a few more weeks. And when they're open, I mean, I think it's going to be a fantastic park. So anyway, that's my review. Quick. Go to intercot.com and check out our podcast. And
thank you very much.
Do that. Yes.
The Mother's Day is on Monday.
Are you going to go into a commercial
on Sunday? Why did
that almost sounded like a florist commercial? Mother's Day is Monday.
Mother's Day is Sunday.
Sunday, yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, please order from your florist. I mean, you can do the 1-800, but go for a local brick and mortar.
Yeah, do that. Support your local folks.
Being the husband of a retired florist.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say, because and we're gonna do all the things. We're gonna do a brunch and have fun, and I'm gonna go visit my mom. But I wanted to say, and it's one of those things you just don't realize until you realize it.
Okay.
Is that the apples did not fall far from the tree. Being that daughter the elder a couple of weeks ago decided she was going to support a friend of hers that was going to be going through some medical procedures and surgeries, and before she went through all that, she threw a 90s no sleep slumber party. And here's what I'll explain what the no sleep slumber party is. But it was all of the things. They wanted to watch Spice World. She had all of the decorations. She had all of and one of the decorations, because I did have to go downstairs and try to hook up the PlayStation to it so she can watch the movie, the DVD. Nice.
Watch one over the weekend.
And that is on the display. I have to mention this because on the display was this, that, and the a bunch of other things. And then down, she goes, "Look at that, Dad!" And they were little business cards, and it was my business card of program director from WXTR.
Oh, nice.
Or we had just flipped to Z104. We hadn't changed the call letters yet, and we hadn't gotten the new program director. And I was still the acting program director, but they gave me business cards. So that was 96 is when we flipped format for that in Washington, D.C. But I just thought that was interesting. She threw that out as a decoration. I'm like, that's weird. But when you look at the logos, you realize, oh, it's so 90s. It's lavender and this azure blue. You're like, okay.
Now you have
I get it. I see why she put it out there, because the logo for Z104 in Washington was a big fat hairy deal. That was a big top 40 in DC. That was in the DZ. We called it the DZ because we thought we were funny. Oh, Magic 106.9.
Yeah, look at the colors.
Wow. How did you get your hands on that so easily? They're just in your office somewhere.
Yeah, I knew where they were. I've got all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've got my, Errol's internet.
Oh, there it is.
I kept them. Oh,
wow.
Wait.
Yeah.
Hey, John is a realtor. Hello, Century 21.
Oh, there he is. Look at that. Look at that picture.
I kept them all.
That's awesome.
I don't know, it's like a walk down history lane,
Mine are around here somewhere, I think. I don't know.
Wait. You're gonna love this one. She'll kill me. I don't know if you can see this.
Wow. I remember that. That's the Hard Rock t-shirt she got in London. At the Hard Rock in London.
Yeah, I can't see it. Anyway.
She was going to London. Just
my wife, by the way.
But yeah, that's his wife. I knew, so I introduced those two just quickly.
Yeah.
So I knew her before John met her.
Yes.
But she was going to London with friends, and she said, "Can I get anything for you?" I said, "Well, when you're in London, you got to go to the Hard Rock."
Because that was a thing back then.
That was right. You got to go to the Hard Rock London.
Right.
And I wanted a t-shirt that said Hard Rock London.
Right.
And when she came back, and she bought it for me, and she came back and she's like, it's an American cheeseburger joint. And I'm like, oh, sorry. She's in London, and I send her to an American restaurant. Hey, get this for me.
Sometimes, when I didn't know. Hey, when I was overseas, I actually went to McDonald's in each country that I was at. Just because I was curious. I was like, is it going to taste the same, or is it going to be different? What's the menu going to be like? It is an experience.
Daughter the younger said she was over in Europe somewhere. She was in Germany, and then she went to, I forget where, but she went to a McDonald's and got their the chicken sandwich.
Yeah. Right.
And she said it was the best chicken sandwich she's ever had.
Right.
It was a fresh chicken breast that was pattied, or it was breaded and fried fresh.
Yeah.
Right there, And she said it was just so tasty and wonderful. And there's no sugar in the buns. They don't put sugar in any of their baked goods like the Americans do.
Baked goods over there
are just amazing. And she said she lost weight actually while she was over there. She's eating all the pasta and all the breads, but no sugar. And then she came back to the U.S. and she decided to go to McDonald's, get another chicken sandwich, and she threw it away.
Oh no!
It wasn't.
Was no Royale with cheese, huh?
Wasn't even close. And I'm like, okay.
So,
although I got to tell you, I just tried the McDonald's, the McCrispy chicken strips. This is the first new thing they've added to the menu. McCrispies.
So
and they're chicken strips. They're white meat chicken strips, and it's got a little spice on it.
They're spicy.
I was pretty good. It was not as spicy as the wasabi, let me tell you that. But it was still, I was duly impressed. So I might have to add that to the menu when I go to the. What did Jim Court? Jim just posted on our Facebook a few years ago. They sold beer at the Burger King in Moscow airport. Oh, I've heard about that too. Yeah, you can get a pint of beer.
There was in New York City. There was either a McDonald's or Burger King that actually had a liquor license. I remember it. It was in down towards the financial district, down towards where
I could
the
have a
Freedom
quarter pounder with
Towers and
cheese and
things
an
like
old
that.
fashioned. That sounds like a good idea.
Right? I mean, it's not a bad idea. I mean,
I could do that.
yeah, I could do that too.
So
Anyway.
the
Yes.
elder threw this no sleep sleepover, and all the guests were like, "Well, what do you mean by no sleep?" And she's like, "Oh, well, we're all gonna go home to our own beds. We're old enough that
Yeah, we
she's
don't
like, I'm
need to.
not sleeping on the couch. Nobody's sleeping on the floor and sleeping bag. No,
Yeah.
no. We're gonna have all the fun,
Have a
and we'll
sleepover.
have designated drivers and all that stuff, and have all the
Right.
cocktails, but and all kinds of great food."
Mm.
And then everybody goes home to their nice warm beds, and she's like, I've got to have my Kindle, and I've got to be in my and I've got to have a
Right.
fan on me. I'm not sleeping. And so
Right.
and everyone was like, what a great idea. No sleep slumber party. You don't have to sleep over. Just here for the slumber party. We have all the fun.
Yeah.
And then with the music and the food and watching movies and gossiping and doing all the things they were doing. And they just had a blast.
Nice.
Then the daughter, the younger, texted us a bunch of pictures just from this past weekend because her friend wanted a clown birthday party.
Oh
no. And it was, and she went with festive clown, not scary clown.
Okay.
And it was kind of like the
not a fan.
How do you put it? It's not the big Emmett Kelly with the big smile kind of clown, but they were, they were lady clowns with little hearts, and a little, just a little red nose. They were, white face. And no. Oh, you don't do clowns?
No, I don't like clowns.
Oh, you don't like clowns? Well, these were cute clowns. But the point is, with the cake and all the decorations and all of that stuff. And so daughter the younger went all out. And that's when I turned to the greatest wife ever. And I'm like, yeah, apples don't fall far from the tree, because that's what she does. We're in the midst. She's in the midst right now of putting together baby shower.
Oh, okay.
And all of the decorations that she's putting into. Well, I'm sorry. Even with the Star Wars wedding, it wasn't just like, oh, let's buy a nondescript costume. No. No, she went to the nay. We went to Goodwill. She found a couple of dresses. She pulled one dress apart. She had this scarf, and then she bought this, I think it was like a shower curtain, something or other, just so she could cut the ring, and so she could have a ring this size, and she could fashion into a belt buckle. And then she bought these belts that she could unbraid. It was a braided belt, so she could have these pieces of leather, and then daughter the elder woven into her hair into these braids, and it was just beautiful. All of the things. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Nice.
So we were sitting around on yesterday, and I'm like, well, okay, Star Wars wedding down. What's next? And so she's got all of these events that we have to put together, which is fantastic. But I just thought it was funny that, a tribute to their mother from Mother's Day is that both daughters, when they throw a party, they throw a party.
They don't mess around.
They don't mess around. They go all out. The devil's in the details. And here's the way the daughter, greatest wife ever approached it, which I think is really interesting, because she says when somebody wants to throw a party, and they ask for her help, she goes, okay, imagine that it's the day after the party. What did you do? And tell me about your experience. What happened at the party? And that's when they go, oh, well, there was this decoration and that, and this cake, and I had this, and the friends, and because she did that for me. She's like, I wanted a Beatles birthday party. She's like, all right, tell me about it. What happened at the Beatles? I was like, well, we had a guitar player, so we got a guitar player, and all of it. It was a great way to approach it, which I think is really cool, because then you work your way back.
I mean, I hate to say this. This is a Stephen Covey 7 Habits of Highly Effective People thing that you're bringing up here.
Yeah,
it's one of his things. It is begin with the end in mind.
Well, she's been doing this for years.
She's got the habit.
Yeah, she's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
She's and coming up on Mother's Day, so she's just an absolute wonderful mother to our girls, and a pseudo mother to their friends, and they call her mom,
Yeah.
and so it's just wonderful. So
No,
happy
that's
Mother's
great.
Day in advance to the greatest wife ever.
Yeah, I like
And
how she approaches that. That's fantastic.
yeah, and to your greatest wife ever as well, mother of two.
Somewhere, yeah.
Two boys. We have two girls, and you had two boys. You have
Yep.
no idea about my world of daughters, and
No,
I
I don't.
really don't know what it's like to have sons. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever the kid is, I hope they like to play Barbie, because that's all I know how to do. That's all I know how to do.
Yeah. I don't know if one is really easier than the other anyway. It just
No. It's different
it's just
flavors of the
different
same.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have liked to have had that experience, but
Of a daughter?
yeah, but
I
it is what it is.
I don't know. Oh my! Well, I grew up with brothers, so I came from all brothers. Didn't you come from all
Same.
boys?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was the oldest of three. So
Oh, you had all boys, and then you had all boys.
correct.
Yeah, I came from all boys, and then we had nothing but girls. This place was lousy with girls. Even the dog was a girl for a while, and I was the only male in that.
Yeah. Well,
no. The cat, Nick, the cat.
Nick
Nick's the buddy, Nick's your pal. Nick's a guy you can depend on.
for a
He
while.
was the only other male. We were the ones who could bond.
Okay. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, I mean, we have 3 fur kids ourselves too, 2 cats and a dog right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's sometimes, now when I need my guy buddy, I go talk to Shadow for a little bit.
No, John, you can text me.
I know, Rod. No, I'm kidding. It's fun.
All right.
Yeah.
It's also Teacher Appreciation Week.
Is it?
I wanted to bring that up because and today is actually National Teacher Day and Nurse Day. And my mom was a nurse. Well, she was going to be a nurse. That she was in
Grandmother
candy striper in the program.
Mom was a lab technician, so I'll count that
absolutely
in the field there. Yes.
And then mom was a teacher, and she taught everything up until she didn't teach any high school, but she taught elementary, grammar, and early education as well.
Were you in her class at any point?
Yes, I was.
I figured.
I was. Hang on. I have a picture right here of my mom.
Okay.
And this is now I went to Catholic schools.
Okay.
And mom, for some reason, and she taught elementary school and preschool, and for some reason when I got to 8th grade, and Catholic schools go for K to 8. There's no middle school or junior high.
Right.
That's
right.
So 8th grade, this is May 1978. So this is 8th grade for me.
You have
my mother, the teacher.
You were in the picture. Oh wow, look at that picture.
My mother, the teacher.
That's funny. I've never seen your mom younger, so I only know Mrs. Ross from the older days.
So I'm going to say 78.
Yeah.
So she is in her 30s in that.
Wow.
And cool that's yeah. She may have been 30. Well, she was born in 39. So yeah,
Ron's doing math.
So she's 30. Shut up. She's 39.
Let me get out the calculator. Carry the.
She's 38. She's 38 in that picture.
Okay,
but I remember that purse. I do. I don't know why. I just remember that purse, and I remember that dress. But that's at the school, believe it or not. I don't know whose head that is in the back.
Yeah,
that was sent to me by one of my former classmates. Because that's what Facebook will do to you. But there you go. There's my mom, who was my 8th grade teacher.
And by the way, this is a reminder to all the kids out there. Print some physical photos, like of your favorite pictures of the people that you love.
Yeah.
Print some actual photos. I mean, the fact that Ron was able to pull that out is fantastic like that. You're not going to do that if that's in your phone, likely.
There you go. There's Rose Ross. Mrs. Ross.
See? Yeah.
It was my 8th grade teacher.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, John. The physical photos. Because we have tons
you don't have to do a ton, albums. Though, but I mean, just like go through, maybe each year on your phone, go through, pick your 5 favorite people shots and print them out.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah. You should. It's easy to do, by the way. There are apps that you can actually just send it to it and boom.
Mom as a teacher, my 8th grade teacher was, it was a blessing and a curse.
Well, I was going to ask about that. That was where I was going.
I did not get any special treatment at home. I mean, when she was home, she wasn't necessarily a teacher. She was just mom. And at school, you know, I didn't call her Mrs. Ross. I called her mom, whatever. And she taught, and they had just started experimenting with, because in elementary school and Catholic schools, your teacher was your teacher all day. You didn't have teachers for different subjects or any of that stuff.
Right.
None of that happened.
Right.
But they just started we had another teacher would come in and would teach us English, and mom would leave and go teach another class. And then we had another teacher who would come in and teach us math. So what did mom teach us? I forget. But anyway, language arts, religion class, and which was one of our classes. And I just distinctly remember one time I wrote a paper, and it was about Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah. It was kind of a book report, but not really. Anyway, my mom took my paper and handed it to my father. To grade.
No. That can't be good.
Now, in hindsight, it was the worst paper you could possibly come up with. I mean, it was the bare minimum, and I could write. I just put like zero effort into it. None.
Okay.
I don't know why. I guess I was just disassociated. I don't know why. I was just lazy. It's me.
Yeah.
We talked about procrastination last week. Yeah. Same thing.
There you go.
Put it together at the last second, blah, blah, blah. And, oh man.
That bad? Did you?
Yeah. I'm surprised I'm still his son. No. it was
didn't take you out behind the woodshed.
It was no. Okay. But it was he had to write, he wrote all these notes on his yellow legal pad because, you know, food and drug, he was a government worker. And the sight of a yellow legal pad makes me want to vomit.
Oh,
it was everywhere. But I distinctly remember that with the grading, and I immediately decided to up my game after that, so that I was performing to the utmost academic that I could.
It's funny. I was going to ask you the question whether you had ever just forgotten to do your homework in your mom's class.
No. But I did have students would ask me to ask mom a question while we're at home, and I'm like, absolutely not.
How did that work? Like, did they call you up? Because we didn't have cell phones.
Yeah. No, they called
on the landline.
They called on a landline, 746-5083. I still remember my childhood number. Do you remember your childhood number?
584-9821.
746-5083. And no area code.
Right. Well, that's it. Did you notice? I didn't put the
I noticed.
I didn't put the 215 in front of it.
When Star Wars was just Star Wars and there were no area codes. I would have a one or two would call. Hey, ask your mom, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, absolutely not.
With 345-1280.
What's that?
That was our house in Doylestown.
Oh,
that was the original. So we moved from Doylestown to Lansdale between let's see, what grade was it? I think it was after 6th grade. So between 6th and 7th grade. I moved.
Wow.
So going into middle school, or what was actually junior high, and then the next year it became middle school. It's weird.
That is weird.
So, yeah.
I liked it when
2 phone numbers. I actually, those were my 2 youth phone numbers. I remember those.
We just had the one. I don't remember what it was in Raleigh, but I remember in Richmond, it was 746-5083. And then there was a radio station, WLEE, Big Lee, AM 1480.
Okay,
it was the Screaming Top 40. This again was the 70s before FM was any. We listened to AM radio and we liked it. And
is there lots of echo?
So that's wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
Hang on. Where is it? Oh, there it is. WLEE 1480.
Hello.
It was the hot.
I can't get my echo working. Why is that? Boo. Boo.
Boo. Boo.
Boo. Hold on. Wait, here. No.
All right,
Hello.
sorry.
Hello.
No,
Nothing.
it's not working.
No return.
Not working. So they were doing a contest, and it was called the Love Line. And you called them, and they had a recording. It was one of those answering machines. And you said, I love W. Lee. Right? You said, I love W. Lee.
Okay.
They would play it back. If you recognized your voice, and then you gave your phone number and your name and phone number and so on. If you recognized your voice, then you called in. You had, 101 minutes, whatever, to call in and claim your prize. That was like $100 or something. the Love Line. Now, here's the thing. Our number was 746-5083.
Okay.
Well, when you called the Love Line, it was 746-LOVE, and that was 746-5683. 6, the O in love is a 6. And they had to keep doing that because everybody was calling our house using the operator, the 0 as the O. So we just pick it up. Hello. I love WLE. No, sorry. The O in love is a 6. Call the O. There's no love. No.
Oh, no.
Thanks for talking.
Yeah, good to hear from you.
Good to hear. Thanks.
I
love WLE. I know. So do I. The O in love is a 6. Call it back. Call the other. Wrong number.
What number off?
One digit off. And then we had to call. Mom had to call and complain.
Did you?
And then they had to go on the air. It was great to hear my favorite DJs. When you call the Love Line, remember the O in love is a 6. 746-LOVE. 746-56, whatever. That was my. How did I get on that topic of the mom, the teacher, and the phone number? Okay,
and the phone number. Yeah.
Now I do remember. Do you remember all of your teachers from kindergarten on?
Oh man,
all the grades.
No, I think I would be hard pressed at this point. I remember certain teachers, and if I thought about it for a little while, I might be able to come up with most of them.
All right, are you ready?
No.
Here we go.
All
right, Cathedral Elementary in Raleigh, North Carolina. Kindergarten was Mrs. Alfred.
Okay.
First grade was Sister Margaret Marie. Then we moved to Richmond and St. Elizabeth's. Second grade was Miss Sikorsky.
Yeah.
Third grade was Sister Eleanor. Fourth grade was Miss LaCruz.
All right.
Sixth grade. Hold on. Well, no, fifth. Then I transferred over to St. Paul's. Fifth grade was Sister Philomena. Fifth grade. Sixth grade was Miss Donahue. Seventh grade. And it was Donahue, and my dad always said Donahue for some reason. I don't know why. It just bugged me. So seventh grade was Miss Giddings, and eighth grade was Mrs. Ross. There you go. They're all my elementary school teachers.
That's pretty good.
But the one teacher that really stood out in my mind, aside from my mother, I remember, and I always want to give a shout out for the years and years, I could only remember her first name because it was very distinct. But she was my freshman English teacher, and we read A Tale of Two Cities from Charles Dickens, and turned me on to that whole classic literature. And I did quite well in that class because I just loved the books that we were reading. And it was Mrs. Lucretia. I remember her first name was Lucretia, and I could not remember it for the longest time. Baskins. Mrs. Baskins was my freshman English teacher. Made an indelible mark on me, and gave if I wasn't a radio DJ, my backup was teacher. My backup was going to be English teacher.
Well, it's a noble profession.
I'd still be in front of people, and I'd still be doing all the talking.
I see where you went with that.
Yeah.
It's like how okay, I get it. Kind of like I'm in corporate communications. I never stop talking to people.
No, exactly. No, it is right in line with your wheelhouse. Right, exactly
in that. And getting up on stage and introducing people and being the voice of God at the board,
Yeah, right.
When we're please welcome to the stage.
Microphone. Oh, I've never used the microphone
Please
before.
welcome to the stage.
This is John.
Silence your cell phones. Ladies and gentlemen.
Please silence
your cell phones.
Oh, because I did even at the Star Wars wedding. So they asked me to do the shoe game. Are you familiar?
I thought they were going to ask you to do the readings, like I did.
No,
I was like, I'm putting
reading.
The radio guys up on the pulpit.
I did one of the readings at John's wedding.
And so did my buddy Mike Manis, who was also a radio guy as well. So
right, that's right. Did I do the letter from Paul? Love is patient, love is kind.
It might be. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
because that was great. Because two things. First of all, I'm a radio announcer. Second of all, I'm Catholic. So years of going to mass, you know that reverberation.
Here we go again.
Now reading letter of Paul to the Ephesians.
Yeah, you have to like break.
You have to pause. You have to pause each. You gotta let it. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not jealous.
I didn't even think about that, but that's so true. And you know to do that.
And at the you have to do it. That's right. Now batting. Number 14, the center fielder, Yaglinski.
Yeah, exactly.
John Yaglinski. I
always wanted to do that. I was so jealous of the
baseball.
The news guy. When I was working overnights in WARX and then worked the morning show, the morning news guy also worked for the Hagerstown Suns and did their PA announcing stuff.
Who? Dick Shane? Was he your news guy?
No, it was somebody else.
Guy?
I can see his face. Why can't I remember his name?
I remember Dick Shane. You don't remember? Cindy McGrath did news and Dick Shane did news.
No, before Cindy McGrath.
Okay. All right. Because Cindy
came in after he left.
Then she went to TV.
Right.
In Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And then I got to see one of her blooper reels.
Did you? Two? No, it was
no, she was just in it. She was outside doing an outside.
I think.
Gosh, okay, but anyway, he went to the Hagerstown Suns, which is a AAA ball club.
Are they still around?
I was asked to be the PA announcer for the Frederick Keys, but I was doing a morning show at the time, so I couldn't go out and do the games.
Yeah,
get in at 11 o'clock and get up at 3 a.m. and but I totally wanted to now batting for the Frederick Keys, the center fielder, number 18, John Yaglinski. I loved it. Give that man a contract.
I would love to do it for just a game or two. Yeah, it'd be so fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very.
Please check your programs.
That's nice.
So I did but I was doing the getting back to the Star Wars wedding. I was doing a shoe game. A shoe game. So they gave me, now they didn't, I don't know if they knew. I don't know if anybody knew. My wife knew. So a select few people knew that I used to do weddings. I used to be a wedding DJ as well. I've hosted so many weddings and receptions and so on. Yeah, right. John, with pure energy.
Pure energy. I have the business card, but right here.
Oh no. Please pull out the business card, John.
And I definitely have this business card somewhere here. Hold on. Oh,
pure energy.
1,000%. There you go.
Yes. Yeah.
Pure energy production.
And it was NRG. If you can't see that, it's NRG.
From banquet halls to basement walls.
Wow, no. No.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, they give me the microphone to do the shoe game, the wedding shoe game. Are you familiar with the wedding shoe game?
No, I don't know what that is.
Okay, the bride and groom face back to back.
Okay.
And in the center of the floor, and then they each have each other's shoe and one of their own shoes. You take your shoes off.
Okay.
So the groom has her shoe and his shoe. And then you ask him a series of questions like, who is the spender in the relationship? And then you either raise your shoe or
Okay.
the bride's shoe or vice versa,
this.
whatever. And you
All
see what they agree on.
It's interesting.
Which was fun, except we didn't do shoes because the bride was actually barefoot. So we had paddles that
You
had
had
their
what?
initials,
Paddles.
that had their initials on it, which
I
was
gotcha.
kind of nice. But it's like they gave me the mic, and I immediately went into MC mode. Now I hosted the game, but then it's like, what are we gonna do next? And I'm like, oh, we're gonna do the toast. All right, before we do the toast, we had to pour all of the champagne for the toast, and I'm like, hey, how about if we have a little house music while we pour the champagne? Can we do that? I didn't realize. I was like, all right, Ron, give the microphone back. You're not hosting.
Well,
you're not the MC.
I like the idea though.
Even though I had moved uh-oh.
What happened there?
Is that my mic?
I think that was you.
It's the microphone. It's this
don't
wire right here.
Don't touch it.
It's very touchy.
Don't touch it.
It's odd.
No touchy.
Dun, 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 dun. Can't touch this. Yeah. All right. Are we ready? I think we're ready. We're running out of time. Okay. Here we go. Because, anyway, so if you're a teacher, throw your teacher a little. If you are a teacher, thank you very much for all that you do. I mean, it's very difficult. My cousin is a teacher.
For all you do.
She is nearing retirement.
Buds for you.
And she can't get there fast enough.
You know what? Quite frankly, I feel that, though.
My brother is a teacher. And he's enjoying some of the perks and bennies at the school right now, like all week. They're serving him breakfast and serving him lunch and stuff like that. So it's very nice. And he's wound up being a history teacher, and he's a guitar teacher as well. And I was going to go into that, but I did not. But anyway, if you're a teacher, or if you want to acknowledge a teacher in your family, or acknowledge a teacher that made an impact in your life, we'd love to hear about it. You can put it down in the comment section, and we will certainly talk about that as well. Thank you so much. And right now, I didn't freeze. It's time to get the gray matter working, fire off the synapses, engage the frontal lobe, form new neural networks, utilize the cerebrum. As Pooh says, it's time to think. Dang. It's dun. Question of the day. In the key question of the day that I do on Key 103 when I do my afternoon show, right? I don't have Pooh anymore. I use no.
What?
It's Steve from Blue's Clues. Sit down in your thinking chair and think. Yeah. We've changed it up. The Pooh option is always there, but the classic Pooh is all right. John doesn't like change.
We own the Pooh.
John hates, and we do own the Pooh. One time it didn't work.
It's the podcast title.
I couldn't get it to work on the air. Yeah. And I was doing a live stream, video stream, and I'm like, Pooh trouble. And I got so many comments.
I know. Right. Hey, we're having a little Pooh
our Pooh came out just fine. Everything's perfect here with the Pooh here. All right, here's today's question of the day. Are you ready? Here we go.
All right.
Speaking of teachers, what percentage of U.S. public school teachers are men? And it's multiple choice. I'm not going to leave you hanging out there. Multiple choice.
Ron was feeling generous today.
23, 28, or 31%. A, B, or C. What percentage of U.S. public school teachers are men? 23, 28, or 31%.
Okay.
Put your answers down in the comment section, and good luck.
Oh no! Wrong button.
Oh, Price is Right trouble.
Yeah,
that's not nearly as funny as Pooh trouble.
No, so professional.
Can you name any of your teachers? Give me one teacher, John. Remember your first grade teacher?
Mrs. Lee was
Mrs. Lee.
First grade.
First grade. Okay. Awesome.
Who got replaced by Mrs. Yogabaski, I believe.
And you felt, one of my
pregnant.
One of my townspeople. One of my people. Was it SKY or SKI?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Quite frankly. Yeah, at second grade, I can see him. Mr. Schilder, I think.
There you go.
Maybe.
Very nice.
Or was that third grade? I don't know. I'm losing
I have
track
no
here.
idea. All right, let's get back to the question of the day. Hopefully you've written your answers
Tomlinson was
down.
somewhere in there.
Who?
Tomlinson. And then, well, sixth grade, I remember Hallman and Irwin. We had two teachers.
Oh.
And so we were in two classrooms. And I remember we would switch depending on it was an experiment they were running. Nobody else did this in the school.
Right.
We were in that classroom and they would switch based on what their strengths were.
Oh, who? The students or the teachers?
The teacher. So if one would be, maybe one would teach math, one would teach English. And so you would switch classes and you would have a different teacher for that. And then you'd go back, but you'd have your homeroom, and then you'd go over to the other room. And at that time, then the other class would switch over and it was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what grade was this?
I want to say sixth. Yeah.
Sixth grade. Okay. Yeah. No, that's.
Yeah. By the way, Mr. Schilder was fifth.
We didn't do any of that. We stayed in our classroom. Our different teachers would come into the classroom. We stayed right where we were.
It was very unusual. Oh, and they put us in pods too, which was a whole other interesting thing. Groups of about 5 or 6 kids together that would work. It was I don't know where they learned all this stuff, but we were the Colonial Vipers. And you came up with a name for your little pod, and we had
that's kind of scary.
It was forming cohesion, I think, and learning to work in teams and stuff at an early age. It was interesting. Anyway, that's teaching.
There you go. All right.
Sorry. Sidebar.
We learned a little more about John and the Colonial Vipers. Right. Was that your Colonial Vipers?
Yeah. Well, it was me and Dave Sutton who came up with that idea.
Colonial Vipers.
You're gonna die. Wait, I gotta do one more thing. So
can we get the answer first?
Wait. No.
What? No. What?
Wait, I gotta tell you this because
what?
Laughing about this. Literally, we had this idea after lunch to put on like a short 3 to 5 minute news broadcast.
Oh my! Oh no!
Oh yes!
Yes.
And so we did the weather, just a couple news headlines and maybe some entertainment or whatever. And they let us do this with like slides and overhead. I think that was where my broadcasting desires actually came from, doing that. Anyway, all right.
They let me do the announcements.
Did they?
Get me near a microphone, man. They let me do the announcements.
I know,
in high school.
It didn't dawn on me until now that might have been where it started.
Just get me near a microphone. Please. Just, I want people to hear me talk. All right.
Here we go.
Here's the question of the day again.
Yes.
What percentage of U.S. public school teachers are men? 23, 28, or 31%? Yeah. Multiple choice. Let's go to the answers.
All right. Jim was first in the door with.
All right. Here we go. What do you got? Jim with 23%. That's correct. There you go.
Oh, how about that? Correct. What do you know? All right. Well, guess what? Then Zach with the runner-up.
All right.
Pride for today at 23% as well.
Zach always nails it.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Well, not always. Okay, a couple of. Let's see. But Jim said in junior high and high school in New York, we had homeroom, then switched rooms each period.
Yeah, same here.
Well, at that high school, we walked around.
And even in junior high, we did that too. And middle school, quite frankly.
I didn't have junior high. I was in Catholic schools.
I know.
K to 8.
I know, Ron.
Then I went 9th grade.
Yep.
And at St. Joseph's Catholic High School in Emmitsburg, Maryland, which is now gone. I was in the last graduating class, 1982. And what's really even stranger, they changed them into apartments, right? So here I am on the air doing the Key 103, and I'm doing my show on Key 103, and I'm doing my afternoon show, and I'm doing the key question of the day, and again an answer. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, that's great. Congratulations. Thanks for listening to Key 103. Hang on, I got to get some information from you, right? Mm-hmm. So then I'm playing a song, and I go back and I'm talking to them. I'm like, hi, what's your name and your phone number, and so on and so forth, and what's your home address? And it was blah 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 blah. apartment 202, DePaul Street, Emmitsburg, Maryland. I went, wait a minute, hold on, time.
You live,
freeze.
yeah.
Are you in what used to be? Oh yeah. Oh my god, I went to high school.
No.
Chances are I've been in your apartment. It was probably, I don't know, could have been the science room or lab. It could have been English.
Yeah.
Could have been any
it's
of those.
Weird though.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, they gutted the building.
Oh, did
I don't think they just made the classrooms into rooms, apartments, or whatever. They gutted it and put, drywall. You didn't have the old cinder block. Remember the glazed cinder block?
I do. Yeah,
the old. Yeah.
So you could just hose it down, essentially.
I guess
that was the idea. They had that super high gloss paint that was on there. Just
and right. So that was very weird. The guy, a prize winner, living where I went to high school.
Yeah. Hey, before we go, and just so you know, my name today was iRobot. That did not have to do with the audio animatronics, and maybe next time we can talk about that because I forgot about it. There are 2 new robots in my house.
What?
Yeah.
What? Oh, wow, what a tease! Because we gotta go.
So we'll talk about that next time.
You're killing me. Next week. Join us for the podcast. Hey, thank you so much for listening. Click all the buttons and subscribes and likes and all of the things and share with your friends. And if you're listening to the podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, thank you so much. You'll probably hear this one sometime in July. I'm teasing, John. It's just a joke.
No, so it's probably true.
No, it's not true at all. It's not true at all. But we get the audio up as soon as I say we.
As soon as I can.
It's that guy right over there.
Yeah, been a little bit
everything.
But you can always watch. And you can always just hook up to your car radio with YouTube and just play the episode because it works that way too.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
that's what I do to listen to the back to the podcast and then catch all the jokes that John threw out there that I missed.
I try
because I talked over it. Because then I go back and I text them. I'm like, oh, I get it.
Was funny.
That was great. Thanks again for listening. We really do appreciate it. And again, put your teacher's favorite teacher down in the comment section if you'd like. Mm-hmm. I would love to hear about it. We'll talk about it next week, and we'll find out what the 2 robots are. And John, is one a vacuum?
They're both vacuums, but I'm going to talk about it because I had one of the original iRobot vacuums, and now I want to talk about how far things have come along.
Okay, how far things have come along.
I'm amazed.
Fluid motion now.
It's
because it's 2025,
and it's only a matter of time before we have personal robots. So I want to talk about that too. So
and John will be the first one to have it. I guarantee you. All right, listen. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe. John Uglinski, Ron Ross. Love you, mean it. Bicycle.